Congratulations on the purchase of your GRAINVAC 3700, the fastest grain vac on the agricultural market. First off, make sure you carefully read the operator's manual. It includes details concerning the safe and effective operation of this machine that may not be mentioned in this video. REM suggests that you make sure your dealer has filled out your owner's registration to ensure your GRAINVAC is covered by warranty. The GRAINVAC 3700 requires a tractor with a minimum of 180 horsepower with a 1 3/4 inch 20-spline power takeoff running at 1,000 RPM. Note that this is the PTO speed, not the tractor engine's RPMs, and to prevent damage to the driveline, it's important to ensure that the distance from the end of the PTO shaft to the center of the hitch pin is 16 inches. The minimum hydraulic requirements are 2100 psi and 2.5 gallons per minute. The REM GRAINVAC operates very differently from other pump-type GRAINVACs. When the product enters the vacuum chamber of the REM 3700, it does not pass through an airlock. The REM GRAINVAC suction system is a sealed air system. The spinning rotor generates a vacuum that sucks air and grain through the hoses. The moving grain is suspended in the airstream, which separates in the tank by gravity. The heavier grain falls into the auger, while the air is drawn through the drum screen and is then pushed out as exhaust. The screen has a dead air space in the bottom, just like the rotary screen-o-matic on some combines or tractors. This dead air space helps keep the screen from plugging with grain. To suck air and grain, the system needs to be sealed. The system seals itself when the spring-loaded auger end dump door automatically closes, or the auger is full of grain, effectively sealing any intake of air through the auger. When the grain moves up the auger, the product itself pushes the door open. Air temperature, humidity, elevation, and the moisture content of the grain will affect the capacity of the GRAINVAC. For example, high humidity and high moisture content reduce capacity. Always check for power lines before lifting the auger. If there are no lines and you are sure the auger is clear of obstacles, engage the hydraulic lift on the auger. Whenever possible, raise the auger on level ground and then pull the GRAINVAC into position, 4 to 6 feet from the bin. Again, check for overhead lines. The REM 3700 GRAINVAC is equipped with a telescoping inlet, so you have up to 18 inches of adjustment. Lower the jack to the ground if static electricity is a problem. Pull the truck into position under the auger. The two major rules of GRAINVAC operation that maximize efficiency are the use of pipes and hoses and the air mix with the grain. In regard to pipes and hoses, always, number 1, use the least amount of pipe or hose possible. And number 2, use aluminum pipe where possible and convenient. It's the most efficient. And number 3, galvanized steel flex hose and basket weave hose where necessary. For optimum efficiency at long distances, we recommend additional aluminum lengths combined with galvanized steel flex hoses where flexibility is required. The basket weave hose is the most expensive hose to replace, the fastest wearing, and has the greatest negative impact on capacity. To protect the telescoping inlet from stress and damage, always use the short galvanized steel flex hose to enter the bin. Attach galvanized or aluminum pipe only as required to push into the grain. If you're using the optional ball joint inlet connector, you can connect directly to aluminum pipe. To start up the GRAINVAC, start the tractor and engage the PTO at an idle. Newer tractors have no internal clutch feathering on their PTO, so they engage and disengage very quickly. Engaging the PTO at high throttle burns out the clutch plate on your PTO. Always idle the tractor down before disengaging the PTO for the same reason. After the machine is running, slowly throttle the tractor up to 1,000 RPM on the PTO gauge. Check the REM 3700's tachometer to ensure the GRAINVAC PTO speed is at the recommended operating speed of 1,000 RPMs. As we explain in the troubleshooting section, this PTO speed may require a different setting when moving lighter material. See the decal on the inlet of the machine for additional information. Do not touch the exhaust or blower housing during operation or for several minutes following operation of the grain vac. It is extremely hot. Keep all guards and shields in place. The product is suspended in the airstream. However, the GrainVac 3700 requires minimal air entering the hose along with the product. If the machine starts to pulse or if you hear grain surging in the pipe, both conditions mean there is not enough air entering the pipe. Just pull the end of the hose back a bit from the grain to decrease the amount of grain entering the nozzle, which also increases the airflow. The automatic air throttle maintains the RPMs of the tractor under all vacuum conditions by automatically controlling the airflow. Under most conditions, it's automatic and self-adjusts, but it may manually be adjusted when required. The air throttle is pre-adjusted at the factory to optimize your vac's efficiency. Refer to the operator's manual to review how to adjust the air throttle. Improper adjustment can increase horsepower or decrease capacity. When moving light products such as oats, barley, or canola, it is possible to vacuum product faster than the vac auger can take it away. This can happen with full bin loadout or when doing bin cleanup. When the auger cannot move the product fast enough, the body of the machine will fill up with grain, causing the drum to bind and burning the drum drive belt. All Model 3700 grain vacs have a glass viewing portal to monitor the level of grain in the tank. If the level of grain starts to rise on the viewing portal, which means the tank is filling, lock the air throttle closed by placing the spring-loaded pin that is attached to the throttle under the counterweight arm. Closing the air throttle will reduce the level of suction. And you may also have to throttle the tractor PTO back to 750 to 800 RPM to reduce the suction if necessary. In extremely light grains such as canary seed or grass seed, throttle the tractor back almost to an idle to maintain the best possible capacity. However, in most crops such as wheat or corn, full PTO speed is recommended. Remember, with this high-capacity grain vac, under optimum conditions, the truck will load very quickly, so be ready to throttle down and disengage the unit if necessary. When the truck is full, lift the floor sweep out of the grain. Throttle the tractor down slowly and let the unit run empty for a moment to clean out the auger. If you stop the vac when it's full of grain, you can damage the PTO clutch or break the shear pin in the auger the next time you start up. The REM GrainVac's rotary screen filters out anything smaller than the holes in the drum screen, such as bugs, mold, dust, and fine chaff. The modular exhaust system allows the operator to direct the flow of exhaust dust. Optional attachments are available to direct or collect the dust. See Options on the menu. Any grain left in the auger will fall out when you pull the auger cleanout door lever. Do not open the cleanout door when the vac is operating. Opening this door breaks the sealed system, resulting in poor suction. If you're using the GrainVac 3700 for custom work, you will appreciate the hour meter. We also recommend that you use the hour meter on the GrainVac to schedule its regular maintenance. The GrainVac 3700's center hitch pull and narrow width make it easy to tow on highways and on gravel roads. Always use the safety chain when towing and follow all applicable provincial, state, and federal laws. This concludes the setup section. Also included on this DVD menu are maintenance, troubleshooting, hose tips, and some of the options available for your GrainVac 3700. For further information or questions that are not answered on this video or in your operator's manual, please contact your local dealer or REM at 1-800-667-7420.